A Byram woman claims police went overboard when they tased her at her own house. I'm Megan West.
And I'm Keegan Fox. The incident was caught on camera. The woman says she had a reason for resisting arrest. 16 WAPT's Ross Adams talked to her today. He joins us live now with more. Ross.
That incident happened back in the driveway of the family's home. That young woman said she thought she was going to die when that officer started tasing her. Her brother was recording the whole thing on tape.
I'm telling you.
Step up one more time.
Stop resisting. I ain't doing nothing. Stop.
Get back.
Stop.
Get back. Step back.
You can see Caitlin Spain tussling with two Byram police officers as they tried to handcuff her inside her car. One of them tased her several times after they got the young woman to the ground. Spain claims it all started when a policeman in an unmarked car tried to get her to pull over. She said she was afraid. She saw the flashing blue lights on the front of the car, but she didn't know whether the man behind the wheel was a real or fake cop. To resist the officers.
Yes, sir, because when I got to my home, immediately he came up to my car and grabbed me with one hand and then tried to arrest me with the other hand. And I felt like I didn't deserve that. I was like, sir, can you at least tell me why? Can you tell me why I'm being arrested? What did I do?
It just upsets me to see that can happen to any one of us of color, okay? It's not so much that it happens to white people all the time. It happens to people of color, and they don't want to explain themselves to us.
We reached out to Byram Police Department to get their take on this video. The chief said in a statement, quote, any video that only shows a portion of an incident is not going to look good. The chief says the department has body camera footage from those officers during the arrest, which they say will support the charges filed against the young woman. Now, Ms. Spain tells us that officer was off duty. He never asked to see her registration or license, and he never told her why she was being arrested until after she had been booked and fingerprinted. They want the charges dropped and that officer fired. For now, we're live in Byram. Ross Adams, 16 WAPT News.
Okay, thanks, Ross. And Spain does face several charges, including simple assault on an officer and resisting arrest. Happening now, the search for an escaped inmate. Holmes County Sheriff Willie March says 20-year-old Adrian Howard escaped from the jail at 9 o'clock this morning. Howard was arrested yesterday and charged with grand larceny, resisting arrest, and failure to obey an officer. Over 20 people arrested during an undercover FBI sting.
Now, this is part of a nationwide crackdown on sex trafficking. 16 WAPT's Ryan Houston is live in our newsroom with more on this for us tonight. Ryan.
That's right, ladies. Operation Cross Country's mission is to rescue kids who are forced into prostitution. Now, officers arrested 28 people last week during the sting right here in Mississippi. Officials say they arrested women and men in different hotels in Jackson, Ridgeland, and South Haven. Agents charged 22 people with prostitution and 5 with being pimps. They also made 1 drug arrest. The FBI says they didn't find any juveniles during the sting, but managed to rescue 2 last year.
You know, we've seen times in the past where young girls in particular have been lured into situations and drugged, and then the next day they wake up 500 miles from home.
I think this is one of the most generally authentic things that everybody wants to do, partake. Our participation is immense with our counterparts.
Okay, so nationwide, Operation Cross Country helped rescue 82 juveniles this year. And FBI agents say the only good thing about the sting this year is that they did not have to rescue any juveniles right here in the state. Live in the newsroom, Ryan Houston, 16 WAPT News.
You can say that again, a good thing. No kids in this area had to be rescued. Ryan, thank you. On News Tonight, school leaders fired a teacher caught on camera dragging a student by her hair. Video hard to watch. The Greenville School Board members say it's Linda Winters Johnson, who you see in this video, dragging this girl, who is a special needs student, across the floor during her PE class. Now, the state will meet November 4th to decide whether to suspend or revoke Winters Johnson's teaching license. A judge ordered a capital murder suspect released from jail because she's pregnant. Lauren Blackwell is 8 months pregnant. Police charged her in the murder of 81-year-old Lee Kendrick of Pearl last year. Judge Jeff Wheel ordered Hinds County to release Blackwell and put her on house arrest until she gives birth. Then they say they'll have a hearing to decide if they will lock her up again. The other person charged in this case, Walter Young, is still in jail. A Jackson City Councilman is proposing a big leadership shakeup.
Today, Ward 4's DeKeither Stamps presented his idea to go from 7 city council members to 4. His proposal would also allow the mayor to vote on issues with the city council. Stamps says the current strong mayor, weak council setup isn't working.
It is truly not work for us. This is not an indictment on one individual mayor. The actual structure that's in place has not yielded, in my regard, equitable treatment of all wards in the city.
Stamps was the only member to vote in favor of his resolution today. A group called the Committee to Make Jackson Great Again is currently gathering petition signatures to change the city's form of government to a council manager system that could appear on the ballot for the next municipal election in May. Meanwhile, Mayor Tony Yarber's high-tech parking meter plan is still alive. Council members voted today to send that proposal to the Rules Committee for further study. The mayor says the city could make about $250,000 a year by using state-of-the-art meters provided by a private company.
That's a dirty word, privatizing. We're selling off our government from the federal down to the local, privatizing. Somebody's going to make a profit. We're going to pay.
We're getting brand new hardware that at the end of this will belong to the city. What else are we getting? We're getting increased revenue. What else are we getting? We get an opportunity to see enforcement happen that the city's not on the hook for, that also helps us to capture all of that revenue.
The city collects $180,000 a year from the current meters, but it costs $80,000 in labor to maintain them, so the city makes a profit of only $100,000. Clinton police are warning residents about a suspected scammer. Police have an arrest warrant for 32-year-old Kendrick Wells of Richland. They say he's been posing as a utility employee and asking for money to get his car out of the impound lot. Wells is wanted for larceny. Contact Clinton police if you know where he is. No injuries in an early morning fire in Jackson. It happened at an abandoned house on Hillside Drive. Firefighters say the home was severely damaged.
A former state senator is now the 6th person to plead guilty in the corrections corruption scandal.
Mr. Benjamin, why did you pay bribes to Chris?
We don't have any comment right now. Thank you.
Okay, it was a former state senator. What do you have to
Herb
say?
Benjamin did not have much to say walking into court today. He pled guilty to bribing former Corrections Commissioner Christopher Epps to get contract work at prisons and jails. A grand jury indicted him last year.
Mr. Benjamin, is a former elected state official. What do you have to say to the people who live in Mississippi?
Benjamin faces up to 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fines. A judge will sentence him in January. In Commitment 2016 tonight, a high-profile race for county court judge in Madison County.
16 WAPT Scott Simmons explores the race between 2 candidates and a job that covers a wide platform in the court system.
Will Longwitz is a former state senator appointed to Madison County Court judge at the start of the year. It is a job he says he wants to keep.
Well, here's what I tell him, Scott. When I was in the Senate, I fought for children with autism. I fought for children with dyslexia. I fought to protect victims of domestic violence. Now, since I've been on the court, I fight every day to protect children.
His opponent is Stacey O'Neill. She has 16 years of trial experience.
I've represented companies, I've represented professional people, I've represented everyday people. I just have, and of course I've represented over 1,000 children in the Madison County Youth Court. So I have experience in just about every type of case that comes before the county court.
County court judge here in Madison County handles a wide array of cases. No felonies, no civil suits more than $200,000 in value, but basically everything else. Misdemeanor assault cases, evictions, and those that deal with juveniles. Both candidates say that youth court component is a vital part of this job. O'Neill touts her experience as a lawyer handling youth cases, Longwitz his role as the incumbent.
Being a judge gives you the opportunity every day. It gives me the chance to make a difference in somebody's life every day. Yes, there are tough decisions. There are tough calls that I have to make every day. But I consider this my calling, and I'm willing to make those calls.
I tell them that I'm not a politician. I don't owe anybody favors, and everybody will walk into my courtroom on the same equal ground. And I think that is so important, that our courtrooms are not mixed with politics.
For Commitment 2016, Scott Simmons, 16 WAPT News.
Tomorrow, Scott takes a look at the Rankin County Chancery Judge race for District 20. If you want to learn more about the races that matter to you, just go to our website, WAPT.com, or download our app for all of your Commitment 2016 coverage. A trial date is set in the Jessica Chambers murder case. The suspect, Quentin Tellis, is going to trial on June 19th. Prosecutors say he set 19-year-old Jessica Chambers on fire on the side of the road in Panola County 2 years ago. He's also charged with murdering a woman in Louisiana. Jackson State University is mourning a student killed in a crash. 20-year-old Devin Mannery was a drummer in JSU's marching band, the Sonic Boom of the South. Police say he used the shoulder of I-55 in Madison to pass a delivery truck yesterday. They say he tried to cut in front of it and flipped his car twice and was thrown from the vehicle. A panel on gun violence is being hosted for Jackson Middle School students. U.S. Attorney Gregory Davis will moderate the Students Against Gun Violence program at Peoples Middle School, Witten Preparatory School, and Sywell Academy. The students will also take an anti-gun violence pledge. Bridgeland police are getting ready to say goodbye to one of their own.
Plus, the